You probably have a fair understanding of what actually happens in prison if you've seen the Shawshank Redemption. Within every facility, there is typically a complete social hierarchy, and those at the bottom suffer the consequences. Corrupt cooperation ensures the procedure proceeds undetected despite the killings, rapes, and attacks committed against both prisoners and guards. In today's video, we will talk about the top 10 prisons so hard and dangerous that they are hell on earth. But first, I just ask you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with new content. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Guantanamo Bay is a prison that is owned by the United States. It is on the eastern tip of Cuba. After the 9/11 attacks, it opened in 2002 to hold Taliban and al-Qaeda prisoners who had been caught in Afghanistan. During his time in office, President Barack Obama said he would close the prison, but it is still there today. About 150 people are locked up in the prison, which has two camps called Camp Iguana and Camp Delta. Before 2002, Guantanamo Bay was used as a temporary place to hold prisoners until it was shut down. Then, people who were thought to be terrorists were tortured to try to get information from them. Even the people who work in the worst prisons in the world are traumatized for the rest of their lives by what they see there. People often see murders and the worst kinds of violence that men can do every day. But going to such prisons is a sentence that few people have been able to get out of and change. 9. State Prison of San Quentin, United States of America. The San Quentin State Prison is the oldest prison in California. For some reason, it has been able to keep some old practices, like torturing prisoners, even though they are no longer popular. When it comes to violence, the prison is at the top of the list. Several well-known criminals have lived there, including Scott Peterson, Charles Manson, and Sirhan, who killed Robert F. Kennedy. The prison is the only place in California where men on death row can be kept. It's also the only state prison with a gas chamber. In the past, guards have stirred up corruption scandals and riots between different races at the prison. 8. Terre Haute. There are low security, medium security, and high security units in the prison. In this prison is the room where the federal government puts people to death. Also, there is a special unit for people on death row that has small, horrible prison cells. The cells for people on death row are very small, and they only get to leave 3 times a week to go to the exercise cages. People on death row, like Jakart Sarnev, live in small cells while they wait to be killed. 7. La Sabanita Prison, Venezuela. The prison was built to hold 700 people at first, but now there are more than 3,700 people there. Because there are so many people in such a small area, there are always fights going on, and diseases can spread easily. It is probably the harshest prison in the world, and there have been allegations that prison guards give prisoners with money and power special treatment. These prisoners don't take part in any activities. Instead, they pay other prisoners to do their chores for them. 6. Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. Even for prisoners who don't want to cause trouble, this is a terrible place. Diyarbakir Prison has a bad name because it is known as the prison where human rights are broken the most per inmate. This means that every prisoner would have had their rights broken more than once while they were there. Physical and mental torture are used in prison, which makes it the most dangerous prison in the world. Inmates have to deal with abuse every day, so many of them choose suicide as the easy way out. People who try to speak up are punished very harshly. Well, do you like what you are seeing so far? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep watching because you don't want to miss what we have at the number 1 spot. 5. Mendoza Prison, Argentina. This prison is also too full, with 3 times as many inmates as it can hold. 5 people can live in small cells that are only 4 square meters in size. Because there isn't a good sewage system, the hygiene in the building is getting worse. Inmates have to use plastic bags and bottles in the bathroom because they have no other choice. Inmates at Mendoza Prison don't get even the most basic medical care very often. When a prisoner dies, that is the only time a doctor sees them. Inmates can also be tortured by prison guards. 4. Rikers Island Prison. Expect nothing good from a prison on an island. Rikers Island Prison, for example, has 10 separate jails for men, women, and young people. This prison is known for having a lot of fights, being very corrupt, and treating prisoners very badly. Also, a lot of prisoners have mental health problems because of how they are treated. An investigation found that prison guards put together a group of inmates called the Program to use violence against other inmates to keep order. The prison has one of the highest rates of people being locked up alone in the United States. Because of this, the Department of Corrections had to build an extra 1,000 units for teens and people with mental illnesses. Rikers Island is probably the hardest place to go to jail in the whole world. 3. United States Penitentiary, Administrative Maximum Facility. The ADX is the most secure prison in the United States. It was built in 1994. Some of the most dangerous criminals in the world, like serial killers and terrorists, can be found here. Ramzi Youssef, Zacarias Moussaoui, who was involved in the 9/11 attacks, and Ted Kaczynski are some of the people who are in jail. Inmates can spend up to 23 hours a day in their own cells, which are 7 feet by 12 feet. Even the pieces of furniture in the cells are made of concrete and can't be moved. The size of a cell window is 3 by 4 inches. Inmates get out of their cells for an hour to play, but they have to wear a lot of restraints and are closely watched. Still, it is the world's most dangerous prison. 2. Camp 22, North Korea. Camp 22 is like one big prison where no one's rights matter except for the supreme leaders. People can guess what life would be like in this concentration camp, which has been running since 1965. Every day, prisoners are tortured here, making it one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. More than 50,000 men, women, and children live in the prison. This is because in North Korea, the crimes of one person can lead to the arrest of the whole family. Also, because the country has a food shortage, prisoners are malnourished, but they still have to work in fields and mines for up to 12 hours a day, every day of the week. 1. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Rwanda's Gitarama Prison is one of the few that is as full as it is. This facility is home to more than 7,000 inmates, even though it was only meant to hold 400. As you might have guessed, a lot of the people in Gitarama Prison are suspected of killing people in Rwanda in 1994. Most of the time, prisoners have to stand barefoot on dirty ground because there are too many of them. This makes their feet rot. Because of this, many inmates have to have their limbs cut off, but they die because they don't get enough medical care. It is one of the harshest prisons in the world because it only has one doctor. This shows that there isn't enough staff for essential services. So, that's it for today's video. What do you think of the number 1 spot? Hit us up in the comments and let's chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for our channel so you never miss what's coming next from us. Thanks for watching.